Additional overhead compressor at the Atuabo plant by the end of the year. And Pope Francis condemns those who fail to help migrants during his traditional Easter speech in Rome. It's Easter Sunday. Hello, welcome to our studios here at GBC24. You're also live on Ghana Television. Time now for the news. My name is Akmene Avo Ajaja. Christians across the country have marked the resurrection of Christ with church services. Preachers of the gospel used the pulpit to hammer on the need for peace as Ghana approaches the November 7 elections.
If there is no resurrection, there is no life. And this is what makes Christianity a different of the others. Because the others do not have any hope so far as those who led them or their leaders are concerned. Christ died, but he rose again. And that gives us this confidence that sometimes when you are going through a situation, a calamity, a setback or something, you can look at the life of Christ and tell yourself that if Christ went through this, but he finally came out, you can also come out. I don't know what you may be going through today, but I know that because Jesus resurrected from the grave, there is hope for you and I. We are not only talking about the future hope, but we are talking about the present day hope. God will deliver you from anything you may be going through.
Well, for we the Christians, is our hope and I believe that we should pray that the peace of God that transcends all things will transcend on this country, that elections will not lead us into destruction of ourselves, but the peace of Christ. Christ stands for peace, so that the peace will transcend and people will begin to realize that Christ is bigger than the nation, and we should all work as a team to glorify God in these resurrection times. The message for the youth is that Christ died for us, and as such, there is a need for peace. No one should indulge in anything that will disrupt the peace that we have enjoyed for 59 years. We want to continue to enjoy the peace. Ghana is bigger than any other person. Ghana is bigger than even the political parties. And we have lived in this country for 59 years after British independence. We believe that the peace that they've been passed on to us, we should cherish it and keep it, and so that our great-grandchildren would also come and enjoy the peace that we have enjoyed.
We are celebrating the finished work of Christ, because the finished work of Christ is unleashing the blessings of God upon your life. It is setting you free from your captivity. It is delivering you, and it is giving you a sense of hope. It is changing your situation from hopelessness unto hopefulness. For giving you a sense of joy. You cried yesterday, today, beloved, joy is your portion.
Churches in Kumasi were filled to capacity as many Christians, including occasional worshippers, trooped to various churches to celebrate the risen Christ on Easter Sunday. One striking feature at some of the church premises was a pronounced presence of police personnel to protect life and property. One common characteristic of all the churches visited by our news team was a huge attendance, leading to the raising of tents to accommodate more of the congregants outside the main church auditoria. At the Ramsey Memorial Presby Church at Idum, the congregation was in jubilant mood as members sang and danced to songs of praise. One obvious situation at the church premises is the presence of police personnel who had been deployed to guard the worshippers against any external attack in view of recent terrorist threats in certain parts of the ECOWAS region. The Kumasi District Minister of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Reverend Moses Opokwajiman, explained that Easter and the eventual resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead after 3 days testifies to the supremacy of divinity over humanity. At the Emmanuel Methodist Church at Atonso, the congregants were in their various fellowship clothes or anything black or white in excitement about the resurrection of Jesus Christ to complete the salvation of the sinful man. They occasionally waved white handkerchiefs in jubilation over the risen Christ. The Atonso Agogo Circuit Superintendent Minister of the Methodist Church, Very Reverend Frederick Mensah, condemned people who claim they are men of God but subject their followers to all kinds of abuse. Members of the Eija, Kentin-Krono and Trimesia district of the Church of Pentecost also converged on Aumaso near Kumasi, where they climaxed their 4-day Easter convention on the theme, The Risen Christ. They used the occasion to pray for the nation. The Fumesia Zonal Chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Pastor William Amwa Bafuo, said, "Without honesty, Ghana can hardly move forward." To the people of Amfuega in the Volta region, Easter will mean nothing if they do not take the bull by the horn to develop their community. To this end, the homecoming Easter period saw the people fashioning out strategy to raise funds to bridge the social infrastructural gap in the area.
The annual homecoming is an event celebrated by citizens of Amfuega traditional area every year. The occasion focuses on self-help development projects and fostering unity among the people. It brought together all citizens from far and near to contribute their widow's mite to the Development Fund for Infrastructural Facilities. Amfuega has 8 traditional divisions, and each year, the traditional gun shooting in the early hours of the Durbar Day has now changed into health walk. This year's event was preceded by a walk through the principal streets of the town. The colorful Durbar, characterized by kente and traditional dresses, also featured various cultural performances. The paramount chief of Amfuega traditional area, Tagbet Teprehodo, called on the youth in the country to be disciplined and urged them to desist from the inappropriate use of social media. He appreciated the efforts of citizens who continue to work towards the development of the area, calling on others to emulate such gestures. The Deputy Minister of Volta Region, Francis Ganyaglo, said government will continue to support communities, which make self-help their aim.
We are also lending our support to the developmental agenda of the district.
The chief executive of the area, Mr. Stephen Timinka, appealed to the youth in the area not to underestimate agriculture because the returns on investment in that sector is very high.
It's all the news live on your news channel GBC24. In some more stories, the operators of the Atuabo gas processing plant, the Ghana National Gas Company, will be installing an additional overheads compressor at the Atuabo plant by the end of this year. The chief executive of the Ghana National Gas Company, Dr. George Sipayanke, said the move is to ensure that anytime there is a mandatory shutdown for routine maintenance work, power supply will not be affected.
According to the Ghana National Gas Company, each time the Atuabo plant works for a period of 4,000 hours, it requires a mandatory shutdown for maintenance work to be carried out. This shutdown certainly affects power supply. For instance, the January 15 shutdown affected power supply for days even though the country at the time was in dire need of power. This is because there is only one overhead compressor. The work of the overhead compressor is to compress gas from the main column overhead receiver to the gas plant. Now, to ensure that maintenance work does not affect power supply, Ghana Gas has now made arrangements for the installation of additional overhead compressors.
We've already commenced the process to procure the second overhead compressor. The drawings have been finalized, engineering services have been done. And we've even started with the procurement of the long lead items. By the end of this year, we have procured the second overhead compressor, and that will enable us to work without, stopping work every 4,000 hours operation of the plant.
This will mean each time there is a shutdown, one compressor will be down while one will be in operation. To this effect, power supply will not be affected and its impact will not be felt. However, the next possible shutdown is expected to be sometime in June or July 2016.
Vice President Kwesi Mensah-Arthur says the government remains committed to its transformational agenda geared at improving the lives of Ghanaians. He added that without peace, unity and the right atmosphere, the country will not enjoy the benefits of development. Mr. Mensah-Arthur was speaking at this year's gathering of the Gonja Land Youth Association at Salaga in the northern region.
Since the formation of the Gonja Land Youth Association 40 years ago, it has served as an avenue for the people to meet and deliberate on issues peculiar to the Gonja land. At an annual congress, Gonjas from far and near, as well as the various youth associations in Gonja land, met to socialize, share ideas, and strategize for the development of the area. This year, the group unveiled plans to establish an educational fund to support brilliant but needy students of the Gonja land, home to some of Ghana's unique tourist sites such as the Mole Park, the Labaraga Mosque, Sonyo An Underground Fort, and the Indewura Jakpa Mausoleum. The people have resolved to harness and market the tourism potential of the area. The association also appealed to government to help establish a satellite campus of the University of Development Studies at Damongo. The paramount chief of Efutu traditional area, Neni Gate, urged the association to frequently review its activities and make meaningful impact in the digital age. The president of the association, Alassao Dramani, called for political tolerance from all as the country heads to the polls in November. Vice President Kwesi Mensah-Arthur said sustained progress and development rides on the back of peace. He therefore urged the association not to allow political sentiments to divide them.
No development can take place without peace. Therefore, we must all uphold peace, especially as we approach the election season. Elections are about development and the choices that are available to the people for progress. That is why I wish to invite all politicians to campaign on messages and ideas, and not to threaten and intimidate their opponents.
This year's gathering is under the theme 40 Years of Promoting Peaceful Coexistence for Sustainable Development, the role of the Gonja Youth Association.
The new Ebrim Government Hospital in the Birim North District of the Eastern Region has received some medical equipment worth $800,000. The donors are Newmont Golden Ridge and Orica, Ghana.
The new Abrim Government Hospital started as a clinic but was upgraded to a hospital status when Birim North was carved out of Achim Odan district. Infrastructural development at the hospital has seen a steady progression with doctors and nurses bungalows, surgical theatre, male and female wards, outpatients department, consulting rooms and wards. The hospital now caters for communities between Nkoko and Achim Oda. Their latest donation by Newmont and Orica, Ghana, has been described by management of the hospital as a timely intervention. This is because one of the equipment donated was badly needed at the theatre. The community development manager of Newmont Golden Ridge, Mr. Paul Apenu, and the country manager of Orica, Ghana, Mr. Francis Decker, who jointly presented the items to the hospital, were hopeful that the items donated will go a long way to make life better in the community. The medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Alexander Osei-Bunsu, thanked the donors and pledged to put the items to good use. He also appealed to individuals and companies to support the hospital with consumables and items that make the running of the hospital efficient.
Hundreds of residents of Oyarifa and Taiman, suburbs of Accra and their environs, have benefited from a medical outreach hosted by members of the Father's House Chapel. They were screened for hypertension, diabetes and eye-related ailments, as well as general medical conditions. A report by Cero Fori.
Oyarifa, just like the communities surrounding it, is densely populated and located within the Ga East municipality. According to the assemblyman of the area, Mr. Daniel Owusu, most of the residents in the vicinity are in the low-income bracket, hence cannot afford medical services. The medical outreach by the Father's House Chapel saw hundreds of residents gather and patiently waited for their turns to be screened. A 7-member medical team made up of doctors, pharmacists and nurses took residents through blood pressure checks, blood sugar levels, eye test and any general ailment they came with.
We recorded people with allergic conjunctivitis, that's allergies, itchy eyes, and then some of the adults we found out they have cataracts, which needs to be operated on. We've also seen a lot of patients or people with presbyopia, that's reading difficulty. Yes, normally when you attain the age of 40 and above, it becomes increasingly difficult for you to see near objects or fine print up close. Yeah. So those ones were given some reading glasses to help them read comfortably without any discomfort.
Medications were dispensed according to prescription and some cases referred to the health facilities for further investigations.
One problem we did realize was that their personal hygiene was a problem. So we took the opportunity to educate them about personal hygiene. One thing being that we realized that they have a lot of skin problems and skin infections. So fortunately we have medications for that which we actually have prescribed. A few cases where people complained of chest pain. It was quite non-specific, whether it's actually something to do with their lungs or their heart or probably just the bones or the muscles within the chest. So in such cases, you have to do a chest x-ray.
Both the old and the young scrambled to grab used clothing, shoes and accessories brought there with enthusiasm. For the past 6 years, Father's House Chapel has been embarking on medical outreaches to win more souls for Christ.
The motivation for the church coming out on such an occasion like Easter to reach out to this community is that Jesus said that I was naked, you didn't clothe me. I was sick, you didn't visit me. And we realize that it's not just about preaching of the word, but showing that Christ cares for everybody, both spiritually and physically. Some
beneficiaries expressed their gratitude to the medical outreach team. Cero Fori, GBC24, Oyarifa, Accra.
It's still news live on your news channel GBC24. Now, back to the Easter festivities. We now take how some other churches across the country marked the day.
And at Tema, the congregation at the Trinity Assemblies of God Church and the House of Love Assemblies of God Church praised God for the victory over death. The ministers in charge, Reverend Sylvester Elom and Reverend Kweku Akumbia, called on Christians to reflect on the significance of Easter and live in peace with one another.
That glory, when it comes back into your life, it takes away your weaknesses.
Everyone should play his role so that we can have a peaceful election.
Members of the Calvary Methodist Church and the Upper Room Church, also in Tema, also thanked God for peace the country is enjoying. The minister in charge of the Calvary Methodist Church, Very Reverend Rosebud Margaret Ajaoto, and the leader of the Upper Room Assembly Church, Bishop Beatrice Jandu Hedido, asked Ghanaians to pray for God's intervention for the nation.
We have to rise to newness and put everything right. And the peace that we are enjoying, we want to continue.
At the Kpehe Methodist Church in Accra, the congregation danced to the glory of God for how far God has brought them. The circuit minister of the church, Most Reverend Dr. Robert Abuaji Mensah, advised Christians to be truthful at all times to depict their Christian faith, no matter the circumstances they may find themselves.
Say ye fiem ye numum ye ban crop ye politics ye base say about ye betray. Ye hear woman no corridi. So what you know one? Sankaye nyina ni mu say ya beto aba ye politician for ye chire ye keka ho nko obi abedi nokora nkense se ye boka ekofo soldier and the police so mo mehwe den.
As the nations go to the polls come November 7th, Most Reverend Abuaji Mensah called on Ghanaians to exercise the franchise in a peaceful manner and not to be influenced by any political party to disturb the peace of the country. The Christ Apostolic Church International CACI at Taifa marked the day with a 4-day convention under the theme, Not by Power, but by my spirit. The field director of the Christ Apostolic Church International, Apostle J.J. Obuo, said the resurrection of Jesus Christ shows that there is no challenge that cannot be corrected.
The Lord has come to redeem mankind from the tortures, the pressures that were under the sun, and has redeemed us with a new spirit that has rekindled us and made us sons of God.
Apostle Paul Oko-Hackman of the International Deliverance and Prayer Ministry advised Christians to be steadfast in their Christian walk.
We'll be back shortly with some more stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. In the international segment, Pope Francis has condemned those who failed to help migrants during his traditional Easter speech in Rome. The Pope said migrants often met rejection from those who could offer them welcome and assistance. He also condemned terrorism as a blind and brutal violence that should be fought with weapons of love. The Pope was delivering the message to thousands amid tight security in St. Peter's Square. Tens of thousands of migrants, mainly fleeing conflicts in Syria and Iraq, are now stranded in Greece after European nations and Turkey agreed a plan to shut their route to northern Europe. Pope Francis also offered a prayer for Syria. In sports, the Black Stars played a goalless draw game with their Mozambican counterparts. The Stars currently top Group H with 10 points. The Stars will next play Rwanda at home and Mauritius away. A win will see them qualify for the 2017 AFCON in Gabon. And also in sports, the national under-17 female football team, the Black Maidens, have booked their place at this year's FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. They recorded a 6-0 victory over their Moroccan counterparts. The encounter was the second leg tie of the final qualifiers played at the Accra Sports Stadium. The Maidens recorded an important 4-0 victory in faraway Rabat a fortnight ago. The Maidens thus qualify on a 10-0 aggregate. The Black Maidens will be making their 5th successive appearance at the FIFA World Cup, which will be held in Jordan from September 30 to October 21 this year. In the arts segment, the Abontindom Hema of Mafe Ikuapem Nana Iya Kwabia showed off her dancing skills when she joined inmates of the Great Mission International Orphan Home to celebrate the Easter festivity. She also donated assorted items worth 10,000 cedis to the inmates.
The items included bags of rice, toiletries, biscuits, oil, drinks, among others, and spontaneously, celebration erupted. In appreciation of the gesture, the inmates staged a choreography. The Abontindom Hima, Nana Yakwapia, who could not resist the tunes, had to jump onto the dance floor with her friends. The Great Mission International Orphan Home, which was established in 2006, currently hosts 47 inmates.
Happy Sunday to you all and happy Easter. I believe you've enjoyed the day. The weather was cool, partly cloudy over the country with some showers over some areas. And this program is brought to you by Adriani Hinin. We have rice, we have maize, locally produced in Ghana. For the past 24 hours, Apetifi had the highest of rainfall, 58.4, 43.2 was recorded over Axim. Sunyani had 20.8. The rest are depicted on our screen. From the satellite imaging, we are having bands of clouds that are rain-bearing system. They are still pushing towards us. So for the forecast for tonight till tomorrow, partly cloudy with isolated cases of rain and thunder over the coast, the middle and part of the transition belt. This time around, the sea will also benefit. So fishermen that may want to go out for fishing, please call Met Office for any information on how these systems are behaving so that you know where exactly to go and do your fishing activities. For the afternoon, temperatures will be 39 over the north, 34, 35 over the middle sector, 32 over the coastal strip with partly cloudy and sunny period across the whole country. But above 2 p.m. we expect an outbreak of isolated cases of rain and thunder still over the coast, the middle and the forest belt. So this is going to be from now till tomorrow. Up on the screen is the forecast for the next 48 hours. The sun has crossed the equator into the northern hemisphere. As such, the afternoon hours are going to be hot and scorchy. So please avoid the hottest part of the day, drink a lot of water, and also make good use of your sunglasses. Today being Easter Sunday, I wish happy Easter to all the staff of RMG, GTV, GBC24, GMET, Incel, and all my friends and colleagues at UEW. I say happy Easter. Till we meet same time, is bye for now.
Thank you, Felicity, for the update on the weather. And thank you back at home for watching the news. News tonight is at 10:30, but coming up shortly is Talking Point, and we are discussing the cashew industry. Stay with us.